What's up, Builders Club TV Nation? You got Dewan Jones here, your professional stay-at-home dad. We're back at you once again, excited, fired up. We got another phenomenal individual. You know him if you're on the internet at all. Mr. Mark Sterling is on the show tonight. Builders Club TV family, entrepreneur, business mentor, industry trainer. He's done a lot of things in his career, but he's still out here doing some major things in these internet streets. You know how we do it, family. Let me get myself on camera really quickly so I can talk to the family and tell you once again, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning into the show, for subscribing to the show and getting the word out about what we're doing. This is the Builders Club TV Nation, and we're excited that you guys are loving the platform. We're going to continue to bring you the best in the industry. I got our friend Mark Sterling on the show. Like I said before, let me make sure Mark can hear us. Mark, can you hear us okay? I can hear you. Let me make sure I get you on camera so the family can see you live and direct, and so we can get you on the center stage, sir. Let's see here. There you go. What's going on, bro?
I'm amazing. How are you, sir?
Man, we're doing good. We're excited to have you on the show, man. When we heard you be coming on, we were definitely excited. Thank you for coming on to the Builders Club TV.
Honored to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. So, Mark, if you've seen the show a little bit, we like to tap into the past, the history, the course that successful people have taken to reach the level of success. We understand on the show, the family, we see that there's a lot to be learned in the journey of successful people. Would you agree, man?
Absolutely. I mean, I think you just really tapped into it. You're talking about, really building or standing on the shoulders of giants, man, where you can collapse time by learning either from past mistakes or actually past wins as well.
Awesome. Good stuff, man. So we have something here called the Builders Club TV Time Machine, Mark. That's what we take it back. You take us all the way back, man. We want to know, before the success, what was life like for Mark Sterling?
Well, that's a great question, but I think people have to really understand what success is. Success, according to, go back to Earl Nightingale days, right? The number one selling personal development audio ever. The Strangest Secret and those guys, they said success is a progressive realization of a worthy goal or dream. So, and I'll paraphrase it. I think success is doing better than where you are right now. So success is a personal journey. For me, success wasn't, reaching levels of income. For me, success wasn't, material, things in possession. Success to me was accolades, right? I also believe that if you think that your skill sets, if you think that your success lies in the applause of others, that'll get you in a lot of trouble. So success for me was a very personal journey, man. I believe in three things from a hierarchical perspective. I believe in faith, family, and finances at that level. And so as long as my faith was good, as long as I was healthy, I was happy, my kids, I could love on them, and they were taken care of. For me, that was a success. Now, Did I want to increase on that success? Absolutely. So even going back, man, even when I was young, I mean, I grew up in the projects in Baltimore. And I never knew I was broke. You know why? Because my mom loved me so much. So we had riches that really couldn't be accounted for. Now, did I want other things that my friends had? Sure.
Yeah.
So success, again, is a very personal experience.
I love the way you broke that down. I really do believe that success is a personal experience. Do you think that that's something that a lot more people should try to cling on to that mindset, is that success is more of a personal thing? And because I see a lot of people have struggles with comparing their success or where they are in their journey with other people in their journey.
Well, I won't say that people should. I think that when people have that revelation, it's liberating. It doesn't mean they let go of their other beliefs, right? But I think that once you have more information, that you can make different decisions. That's what I personally believe. I had a conversation with a gentleman yesterday, and I got a lot of respect for him. He's a top builder in another company, and I think he was comparing himself to what's going on. There's some other things happening, and maybe he's not getting the accolades that he deserves, right? Or maybe desire. But again, he's actually at a level that if he went back 5, 6, 7 years, he's at a place that he's always wanted to be. So I told him, I said, understand that where you are is not who you are. And also, more importantly, I said, no, you're good enough. So don't compare yourself to what you see others doing. Just say, you know what, am I in a space that I'm happy with? Am I in a space that I'm peaceful with? Am I in a space that, that I desire to be in at a previous point? Because the reality is he's making the kind of money he's always wanted to make. He's living the kind of life he's wanted to live, right? So sometimes we have to ask ourselves a different question, because questions the quality of our questions dictates the quality of our life. So maybe a different question could have been not, am I, am I happy in what I am in my company, but more so what can I do to position myself to create more leverage and actually, elevate to a different position.
That's good stuff. That's powerful. Man, love it. Let's go back now. Let's talk about, how you were introduced to this industry. Did you get started early on, Mark, or what were you doing before network marketing?
Well, wow, that's a great question. So I moved to Atlanta back in, good Lord, I won't date myself, but it was back in 1995. And I'm originally from Baltimore, Ravens fans, all the way through. I always say Atlanta fed me, but Be More bred me, right? So I moved down here, and it wasn't until about right around 2001 when 9/11 hit. I was actually working up in DC, and I lost my income. So the job I was a very specialized field, and we were making really, really good income, strong six-figure income, work with other people that were subcontracting with me that were making strong six-figure income. So, but we were living a lifestyle that equaled the income, right? So when the income went away for me, it was definitely a challenge because I thought I had a year's worth of savings put away, right? And I went through that very quickly, like 7 months, right?
Wow.
Incidentals kick in and things you don't account for. But what wound up happening for me personally is that I was open to this concept of other styles of income. I didn't understand residual at the time, but I knew I wanted some money that came in that I didn't have to work for because I recognized that when your income stops, the only person that cares about you and your problems, right, are you and your bill collector. No one else will around anymore after that. So, it's funny you said that because when I got married back in 2001, and I asked my wife one thing as we were going through this very early in the marriage struggle, and I said, I said, do me a favor, we have a son. His name can't be William. She said, why is that? I said, because I don't want another bill coming into my household.
Oh, man.
So the fast forward, the following year, I think it was 2002, I got introduced to a company. It was a juice company. And I saw some people having some great benefits of the products. I saw the potential for extra income. And I got a phone call, matter of fact, before I went to the presentation from a great friend of mine. And I just a great guy. We worked together in traditional business and IT. And he said, hey, man, some people are making some crazy amounts of money. He gave me some numbers, for example, they were making monthly, and it blew me away. And he said, well, can you come next Sunday? He called me Sunday. And I lived about an hour from the presentation. He called me Sunday at around maybe like 2:00. And I think it started at 6 or 4, one or two.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I said, hey, is it sold out? He said, no, I know you live far away. Can you come next week? And I was like, is there any way that you guys could fit me in today, right? I'm thinking that it's some sold out audition or something, right? Or concert. But I got down there, man, and when I got there, man, the bug really struck me because I saw people winning at a high level. I saw people winning at an average level too. And people were excited about that, having additional income come in. And so for that next year, I got involved in that company. And my first year, I didn't knock it out the park relative to what most people think is these big numbers.
Yeah.
My first year, I made $2,700, right? But I was excited about that. You know why? Because I did some work and I got paid for that work. And I recognized, you know what? I produced and I got paid for production. So now how do I go from production to reproduction where I can actually increase and elevate and actually multiply my efforts? And I recognize it's very different than a job. And I had to actually incorporate and help raise up other people and position them in an environment where they can actually win too. And based off of that leverage, then we can start creating some additional income that could actually multiply. So that it taught me a lot. I cut my teeth. And unfortunately, in today's society, too many people want to get involved and they want to have 5-year success in 90 days, right?
Yeah.
And I always tell people that, this industry can change your life in 18 months, but you got to go hard for 18 months, not just 1 month at a time, 18 times.
I like how you put that. So I want to go back a little bit further. Like when you first were introduced, you said you got started, right? But do you remember, Mark, what your initial impression was of the industry in general when you really started to tap into what it really was? Because we had a chance to speak to a lot of different leaders in the industry, and some of them told us, man, I didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't even know it was network marketing. I was just doing the deal. Was it like that for you, or you knew right off the top? Because you said you were just learning about residual income. What happened when it really dawned on you what you were doing?
Well, I take it back, man. I'll take one part back. That was a juice company, right? I won't say their name.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's a T-shirt known international, man. One of
legendary.
Legendary, right? Right,
Yeah.
$1 million in 4 years and 10 months, man. I told that story everywhere, right? So the crazy part for me was I forgot. My cousin actually introduced me to a company before that. I totally forgot. That was the first company I built on purpose. We'll say that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, the first company I was involved in was actually uh, bought in like a $2,500 package, and I
Wow.
didn't have $2,500, so they financed. They had people in the back of the room where you could finance it and no interest for 30 days. And I wasn't paying interest, so I went and made sure I sold my stuff before the month was up. But it was
Yeah,
like air purifier. So for me, that was a traditional job. I didn't know it was a network marketing aspect to it.
yeah,
Didn't understand the affiliate program. Didn't understand how to build a team. Wasn't even presented to me. So I was actually in a network marketing company once before that
yeah.
and didn't know what it was. So when I got involved in the juice company, um, what I recognized after that year of making 2,700 is that I went out and I started. I did what I called a lessons learned,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, you know what? If I want to get to another level, if I want to get to the levels where I see some of the other people are at, maybe I need to go talk to them. And I
Mm.
started interviewing people and finding out what their skill sets were. And I'll be honest, there were some people that were conscious competence where they actually knew what they were doing and could teach it, but there were some unconscious competences. I mean, there was some conscious uncompetence too,
Mm.
where they did not know how they got there, but
Mm.
they had results. And so what I did was I didn't limit myself to that environment, right? What I
Right.
did was started talking to people and making associations in other companies of people winning at a high level. And I would have conversations, take them out to lunch, and I wouldn't pitch them on what I was doing. I really wanted to hear about, what it was that they did, what was their mindset, what were they thinking, how did they walk. And there was a time, this is going to sound real crazy, when we got to a certain level of income, the second year we made like $70,000, right?
Wow.
And I started writing down and journaling everything I was doing so I could look back, man. I had notes on what kind of socks I was wearing, my cologne, what suit. It was so crazy
Wow.
because I wanted to document the journey, because if I ever had to replicate it, you know what, maybe there's some things that didn't make sense, but maybe there were some small things I had to look at. And yeah, I was kind of, I would say, lightweight obsessed with actually getting to the highest level.
Mm. Wow. Wow. Man, let's hit the fast forward button, Mark, a little, and let's talk about when that moment where you started to tap into the breakthrough. When the breakthrough started to happen, where were you in your career at that point?
So the breakthrough for me happened not by way of production, by way of personal development. The breakthrough for me happened when I started getting outside of my traditional way of thinking. For example, there's certain books I was reading or certain conference calls I was on, and I can tell you the names of those books, man. I can tell you right now, it was all the Og Mandino series, The Greatest Salesman in the World. It was Claude at Bristol, man. It was The Magic of Believing. It was Clayson. It was all these guys I was actually listening to, the John Maxwell's of the world. I was listening to everything by, good Lord, what's his name? Clark, Jerry Clark, right? That series. And it was so crazy because this will sound really, really crazy. I was at a conference in New York, and I think it was 2004, and we walked outside and it was starting to snow, and we walked inside, from the hotel, and then we went to the conference, and it was like magic. It was like magic on 42nd Street, right? So we're walking across the Times Square, and the conference was actually in the where the Rockettes dance at. You know what I'm talking about? On Broadway. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
anyway, so we went down, we were in there, man, and there were like 5,500 seats, and I promise you, I was at the very top row, like seat 54, 55, right? It was the top row. I barely got inside of it, man. I saw a guy on stage, and he was talking about all the people he interviewed and all the success stories, and I said, man, one day I want to be interviewed by that guy, right? And fast forward 11 years later, man, I got a chance to be interviewed by him, and he's actually put my audio, the interview, all over the world, man. So thank you to people like yourself, Dewan, that are going out there. They're doing an incredible service for the industry by getting information out there to the field and to the world. And here's one thing I know, and I want to make sure that I know you know it, but I want to pour it into you, and I want to honor you, because I understand that the seed that you're planting right now is not a seed that when it leaves your hand, it doesn't leave your life. It just enters into your future, right? And there's a gentleman named Charlie Tremendous Jones. He started a book company in the 60s called Executive Books, right? And he said, you'll be the same person 5 years from now, except for three things: the books you read, the people you meet, and the places you go. And that was so important to me, because the books allowed me to go places. I was mentored by people I never met. See, we didn't have YouTube when I first got started. I'm dating myself, right? So, but I was mentored by books. I was mentored by audios. I was mentored by people that I never had a chance to meet. But what happened was I was able to borrow their belief while mine was actually forming.
Wow. Wow, that's good stuff, man. You know, we hear the leaders say often, you know, personal development. Some of the books you mentioned are familiar, but you know, it's a fact that most people don't tap into the personal development side along the journey to success. Man, Mark, can you keep it real with us right now and just let the family know how important or how critical has, you know, personal development been for you in your career, and how has personal development in some of the books that you've read helped you in your own career?
Man, it separates. I mean, there were two things beyond a shadow of a doubt that separated it, man. It's actually visiting places and going to conventions and being at events. You know, events are so critical. I mean, think about this. When's the last time you got a haircut? This sounds crazy, but just work with me.
Well, if you're asking me,
yeah.
I don't have any hair, but
Okay.
I just shaved before this interview.
There we go. All right, so I use mine. I use mine for example. I forgot I'm left, right? So I got a haircut about 4 days ago, right? 4 or 5 days ago, right?
Right.
The reality is, I could not have had that experience unless I was actually at the event. I couldn't call my barber and say, "Hey, I need a haircut," over the phone, right? And I guess what the translation I'm trying to say is that we have to be in the environment in order to receive an experience. So sometimes you're going to have aha moments at a conference. You're going to have a chance to meet some people. You're going to hear someone else's story that's like yours, that speaks to you, that resonates with you, right? But I'll tell you when it really, really switched for me. I was in a company. I was in a coffee company called Organo Gold, right?
Legendary.
And I got a chance to meet someone that absolutely changed my life. I got a chance to meet a gentleman by the name of David Amonite. I give him so much honor. Matter of fact, I'm right here. One of the things that changed my life, he actually came out with audio called Conceive, Believe, and Achieve.
Yeah. Okay? Legendary,
right?
Yes.
This guy right now, I consider him a family member, like a real life brother to me. He's we're not in the same company anymore, but you know what? The relationships are stronger than the commissionship, so I give a lot of respect.
Can you say that again? I like that. Can you say that again? Relationships
are stronger than the commissionship. See, sometimes, guys, you need trust, you need transactions, right? And I can reach out to David at any given time and talk to him and seek counsel. Why? Because he's living the life that I desire to live back then and even to this day, right? So I want people to really get that, is that you sometimes you need to have an assignment, an account. A mentor is different than a friend. A friend loves you for who you are, but a mentor will choose never to leave you that way. So there are times David knows which role to play in my personal life. So I want to make sure that publicly, no matter what happens in my life, that I thank that man, because he absolutely changed my entire life.
Wow, shout out to David. We definitely got to have him on the Builders Club TV. Family, make sure y'all like this video. Mark Sterling is definitely bringing the heat. We got to have you back on for sure. It's just so much wisdom, man. We got to pick your brain a little bit more. You know, tell us this, Mark. How important is it to have a big vision in this industry? Because I'm sure when you first got started, you know, making that $2,700 in your first year in network marketing, did you envision yourself having your own company one day?
You know, back then I didn't envision myself having my own company. I envisioned being a top owner, a top builder in a company. That was my initial goal. And I want people to understand that goals, you know, once they're realized, you can actually increase goals. You can expand on them, right? So that's important too. But it was a little bit later, probably 5-7 years in my career, that I thought, you know, one day I wanted to either be an equity partner, an owner, or as importantly, have a help to mold a company, if you will. And that was one of my journeys, man. And it's amazing what happens when you set intention into action, right? You set your intention into action. So here's what I'll tell you about anybody listening right now: write down a big goal, right, and then double it, and then double it again. And then I encourage you, you know what, here's my big goal, and I think I can accomplish it in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, and then do it in 6 months. See, once you start believing that those things can happen, the universe will align and conspire on your behalf, and so start bringing people into your space, into your atmosphere, to your vibration, and you start speaking it over and over again, right? Then what happens is that when you start speaking something, you've actually released it into the universe, and the universe must respond in kind. And the only difference is the level of believing, right? Now, understand it. Believing is important. Believing is critical. But you must have a certain amount of activity to go along with the believing, and you must eliminate self-doubt in your mind. There's an audio series, and some people, you know what, guys, it's Christian-based, it's biblical-based. You can take the principles out, the meat off the bone. If you're not leaning to that space, that's fine. That's just my personal belief. But there's an audio series by Bishop I.V. Hilliard called How to Eliminate Doubt and Unbelief.
Mm.
Ooh. Well, first off, I didn't know that, unbelief was a thing, right? So, and I give you one parable very, very quickly, and then we can get back on the question. Remember that story where Peter got out of the water to go see Jesus, right?
Right.
Well, what happened was he got out of the water, and most people said he was silly to get out of the water. No, his belief was stronger than everybody else's. They were still there, right?
Mm.
See, what happened is before Jesus got out of the water, he was under the boat. They were so concerned about the storm that they were like, hey, what's going on? They were overwhelmed by the storm, but underwhelmed by the resource that could save them. Right. So when Jesus went onto the water to calm the water, to calm the seas, he said, come on out. Peter went out. But what happened, it said he began to sink, right? What that says is that if you and I were walking on water, we wouldn't begin to sink, we would just sink. So that means that there were levels to believing. So, and I'm bringing this home full circle here, is that we must understand that anything that you want in life is a belief system away. Anything that you want in life must, if you start understanding how to grow your believing, how to impact your believing, then you have something special. And your belief is actually impacted through your words, your images, your emotions, and your environment. If you learn how to master your words, what you speak, your images, what you see, your emotions, how you feel and vibrate and emote, and then your environment, where you are, what's around you, your life can totally change.
Wow, man. We knew this was gonna be epic, man. Any advice, Mark, for someone out there watching this interview right now, and for someone that's gonna be watching this interview that's not believing, right? Maybe they're listening to people around them. Maybe they are watching other people on Facebook have success, and maybe not so much believing that they can achieve that height of success. Any advice for that person in terms of belief? Yes.
Celebrate others as if it was you. See, when you celebrate someone else, you create the environment to be celebrated. And also, I'll say this: I encourage you to dream bigger, faster. Shouldn't you be first to know at least once in your life? Aren't you good enough? Right? Celebrate others as if it were you, and dream bigger, faster.
Let me ask you this, Mark, because some people, they're dealing with it. They're going through life. Maybe bills are haunting them. Maybe they're not where they want to be financially. So when you say celebrate others as though it's yourself, right? They may wrestle with that a little bit. But can you describe the power in that, in terms of what happens for you in your own life and how the universe works when you do celebrate other people's success?
Absolutely. So I'll give you an example. And guys, I know that a lot of us go through things. I've been through a ton of things, right? I'm not diminishing or putting down anything that someone's currently going through, right? Matter of fact, I honor you for still being in the fight, because you are a warrior. Sometimes we get caught between warrior and worrier. I understand this. But here's what I'm going to lay with you. The same story in the Bible again, where they were marching around Jericho, right? And what happened is that when they went around Jericho, they blew the horn and began to celebrate. So what happened was, they celebrated before the wall fell. So there's some challenge in your life. There's some walls in your life. There's some adversity in your life. But you know what? If you celebrate, if you blow your horn, if you give out glory, if you actually start saying, you know what? I'm so excited that the new day is coming. Because guys, I understand this. Recessions come and go, right?
Right.
There's seasons that come and go. Things change. They always do. But if you can be happy in a down moment, there's power in that. If you can have gratitude in a down moment, there's power in that, right? And Les Brown once said, if you're going through hell, don't stop. Why not you?
Wow. Powerful, good stuff, man. Amazing. Tell us, Mark, what's going on? We see you rocking the Tava. You got the black hat on, the green shirt, loving the logo. What is Mark Sterling into these days?
We're launching a new company. I'm not sure when it's there, when you hear it, but as of this moment, we're launching a new company. And I don't normally get involved in startup companies. As a matter of fact, normally the only thing you can get in a ground floor company is dirty, right? So, but there's so many different potholes. We partner with a multi-billion-dollar company that actually is manufacturing, formulating our products and services. They're actually wholesaling, not wholesale. They're warehousing it for us, and they actually ship as well. We have compliance, and we have full access to all their other resources, man. And then I got a chance to partner also with a giant in the industry as the CEO of our company, and also Kevin Harris, the Chief Operating Officer. I've been very blessed to be asked to fill the role of vice president of sales of this company called Tava. Matter of fact, Tava in Hebrew it actually translates into ark. Why is it an ark? Matter of fact, I want to say that we believe that in this current environment, there's so many storms happening in people's lives, storms of matter of fact, financial stress or physical stress or maybe emotional stress, health stresses. We believe that Tava is a vehicle and a vessel that people can onboard into as a safe harbor until they get to a better place. So that's really what the concept of Tava is about. We have some amazing product lines that are out there that people can actually visit tavalifestyle.com and find out more about what's actually happening. And then if they like, they can find me on Facebook at Mark A. Sterling and message me. Again, guys, I'm really I'll redirect them to someone that can help support them if it makes sense for them. But it's really not about that for this call. But what I will say is that once you set that intention, it's amazing how the universe again conspires. Something we thought about maybe last year in entering into this space. And then when we did it, we talked to a few people, and those few people heard about it. And before you know it, someone knew someone, and one window closed. Get this, Dewan.
Yeah.
Someone told me earlier this year, around January, right? Mm-hmm. They said your window of opportunity has closed. That's what they told me, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you're hearing this, somebody's told you you're not good enough. Somebody told you that your window is closed. Someone said no, right?
Yep.
Reality was, I told them my window didn't close. Your window closed. My whole world's still open.
Wow.
Right? And a few days later, I get a phone call from one of the top earners in the entire industry. They're starting their own company. Okay. I got a chance to go out there with my lovely wife and meet them. And what wound up happening is I fell in love with the alignment. I prayed for three things this year: wisdom, double dose. I prayed for wisdom, humility, and not most important, and as important, I prayed for alignment. Because when you get a couple of the right people lined up, you can do some amazing things, man. And we think we got a special product, a special company, special comp plan. But I will say this: there's no number one comp plan in the industry. There's no number one company. There's no number one anything.
Right.
You know what? One of the number ones, but there's no number one anything, guys. This is an incredible industry. I like to be an ambassador for it. I celebrate people in every company across the board, man. And we got something special as long as we keep our integrity good and our word good. You keep your word and your work, people will follow you.
Man, it's so amazing to have you on the show, Mark. We were just getting ready to ask you about your social media. You've already done that for us, but family, we will leave the information as far as how to get in touch, social media with Mark Sterling. Mark, we definitely got to have you back, man. We have some new series we're getting ready to debut soon. One being the Builders Club TV live chat series. This is where Mark will be live at this point, but the audience now becomes the interviewer, and besides myself, and they get a chance to ask questions, learn from someone who's been through it all, who's doing major things out there like yourself. Also, we got coming even sooner, the Builders Club TV Day in the Life. The Builders Club TV presents a day in the life. Mark, this is like the lifestyles of the rich and famous for network marketing, where it's really about inspiration, motivation, and belief. We just turn the camera on. You show us whatever you want to show us, but again, it's about inspiration. You know, we get to pick your brain a little bit more with a mini interview and talk to you more, get some of those nuggets, because as we can see, family, Mark has a million nuggets for us, and we can stay full. So Mark, we definitely got to have you back, man.
Man, I appreciate you guys so much, man. You're doing an incredible thing in the industry. Keep sharing your talents, and I thank you for a front row seat on this amazing journey.
Awesome, man. We appreciate you. Builders Club TV family, Mark Sterling. Peace.